This episode is supported by NatWest, providing ease of mind when it comes to business payments.
NatWest Pay It, the bank's own payment solution, facilitates customer payments in near real time while allowing companies to track live spending. Need to collect payments without customer account numbers or process refunds without holding on to personal details? Pay It has your business covered.
Pay It connects directly with each customer's bank account using an API, which also allows data to be seamlessly and securely passed onto third parties. That means you can provide the best payment experience on the front end while empowering your back-end staff with the info they need for truly data-driven decision-making.
To find out more, visit payitbynatwest.com/ITPro. That's payitbynatwest.com/ITPro. It's not every day that cybersecurity marketing professionals get to speak to one another, compare notes, and come up with innovative solutions for getting their voices heard.
Despite being a cornerstone of the tech industry, cybersecurity is in need of constant marketing on its behalf. Developers need individuals willing to enter the boardroom to advocate for their product, and cybersecurity marketers have to arm themselves with the right storytelling skills to get their message across.
The Cybersecurity Marketing Society describes itself as a community for cybersecurity marketers to network, share skills, and learn from one another. But what does this mean in practical terms? You're listening to the IT Pro podcast. Hi, I'm Jane McCallion.
And I'm Rory Bathgate.
And this week we're joined by Gianna Whitver, co-founder and CEO of the Cybersecurity Marketing Society, and Maria Velasquez, co-founder and chief growth officer at the Cybersecurity Marketing Society, to discuss their work in the sector and the realities of running a podcast all about cybersecurity marketing.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Thank you.
So to start off with, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Cybersecurity Marketing Society? What does your day-to-day look like, and how do you interact with the wider sector?
So every day we start our days by thinking, how can we help marketers in this industry, this topsy-turvy, constantly changing, highly technical, and very important industry be successful? So on a daily basis, we are launching programs that help educate marketers and help them do better marketing. We're connecting folks who are needing some help with their careers with other folks who might be hiring or able to mentor them. And we are also doing industry research and facilitating interactions in the community so that all marketers in this industry can market better and therefore help the defenders defend better.
Yeah, and so the origin story of the Cybersecurity Marketing Society really started with the two of us as marketers working at cybersecurity companies and just being challenged with, really, as plain as I can put it, it was really, really hard being a marketer in cybersecurity in the early years, I would say, of our careers in this, like Gianna said, highly complex, highly technical industry. It took one phone call and two women in cyber deciding, you know what, I think we need a home for our thoughts and our feelings and for us to really come together as one to help each other out.
I think most of our listeners will have gathered from your accents that you are both from North America, both from the USA. Does the Cybersecurity Marketing Society only work in North America, or are you a global organization?
We're global, so we have members. We have about 3,200 members from over 1,000 security products and services companies now. And we are global. So as a digital first community, of course, we have in-person events and other opportunities for members to connect. We love that. But as a digital first community, we want to be accessible to marketers at companies anywhere, as long as they are cybersecurity companies. So we have members from England, we have members from Ireland, we have members from Croatia, from Switzerland, from Germany, from Spain, from South America, from everywhere in the world where there is, maybe not everywhere, but, a lot of places around the world where there are cybersecurity firms.
And we are actually starting to see member-led chapters around the world forming, organizing together, meeting up locally, and coming together as their own kind of micro communities all over.
That's interesting, that autonomous aspect you just mentioned. It sounds like what started as maybe, two professionals coming together to share skills and try and build this community has now become something much larger. But you've mentioned both in-person and virtual events. And is this partially organized by the members themselves? Is there a kind of board for collaborating and sharing ideas?
Absolutely. So to give listeners an idea, we primarily, our digital hub is a Slack, a big Slack with lots of channels, and there are channels for every geo. Members can connect, collaborate, and even submit meetups that they want to hold in their area to us so that we help them produce those meetups, advertise those meetups, and get more members to come to those meetups. I think anyone who's listening who works in cybersecurity understands that community is a humongous part of cybersecurity. There's so many groups you can join. There's so much collaboration. There's ISACs, there's OWASP, there's ISC squared. There are an untold number of local groups, local communities, as well as interest communities for cybersecurity practitioners and professionals. And ours as a group for marketers in the industry, there are marketers around the globe, and we encourage our marketers to take our community forward and evolve it and make it regional and make it local so that they can get the best experience and they can meet other people in their area even who are working in the space so that we can all have better careers and better networking and better connections.
So given all that and the fact that you run in-person and also virtual events, you do the podcast, you must have a really unique view on the trends and general sentiment amongst cybersecurity marketers. What are some of the main changes that you've seen amongst professionals since you started the podcast?
Gosh, well, I mean, not to bring it back to COVID, but COVID really did push us to truly think outside the box in terms of that channel mix and marketing strategy as a whole. A lot of companies were very event first in their growth marketing and generating pipeline for the sales team. But we've definitely had to think differently about how that channel contributes to pipeline during times where we couldn't be together in person. And now that we are back together in person, I think some of the new tactics stuck and are still very much within today's strategy for a lot of marketers. We didn't really go back to the old ways. We found creative ways to still connect with that cybersecurity buyer. And it's definitely innovated a lot of ways we do go to market within a marketing team.
I mean, from our perspective, something that we've been talking about on the podcast more and more over the past year, 2 years is, wait for it, AI. This must be something that...
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it's come up once or twice, I would say, in the last year. Our listeners will be familiar. With regards to your podcast and the kind of conversations that you're having with marketers in the space right now, how have people handled that shift? There's a lot of hype surrounding AI. Has that made the work of marketers that much harder, being heard among that noise and among that hype?
It has been very interesting from a marketing perspective because I think anyone who has any listener who's on LinkedIn might have gotten a very obvious LinkedIn AI written comment on any of their posts or seen some of those. I think that the AI revolution, evolution, whatever it is going to make marketers have to think more about quality, because with the increase of production capabilities that come with this AI, like press a button, write a blog, marketers will have to now consider, is this interesting, right? Is this helpful? Is this relevant? When it used to be a little more baked in, I think. The other thing is it is helping with production. A lot of security startups are small. They are 30 people, right? There's maybe one marketer and, they spend their day split between 20 different things. So I will say that AI potentially has the capability to help marketers be productive. It's definitely something that we use here at the society. I'm not ashamed to say it, that it helps us, given that we're a 2-person company and there's only so much we can do in a day. And the last thing I'll say about AI is that people are definitely, or at least marketers in our community, and marketers in our community are interested in what's working, what's happening. They're in our community to better themselves. They're very interested in how AI is affecting their work and the production qualities. We have an AI channel in our Slack community, and we also host now a regular AI meetup where people join. They talk about tools, they compare notes, and they talk about strategies about using AI in marketing. And we even have AI topics at our conference this year, Cyber Marketing Con. So we host, on the topic previously about in-person, getting together in person. One of the things we do is a conference every year. And since AI is a hot topic, we're not making it the whole conference, but we are doing AI workshops, and people are going to be sharing how they are using AI to make better or good or great marketing, or really bad marketing, if that's the case, when they try using it.
And I'll just add that, I think in the beginning when AI was just emerging and kind of like the launch of ChatGPT, there was a lot of anxiety about content and content production using AI and how it would be seen in the industry. Already there is a lot of anxiety about whether the content certain marketing teams are creating is actually resonating with the security community, if it is making sense, if it's full of marketing buzz and fluff, and just striking that balance between thought leadership and truly informational content for that highly intelligent security buyer, but then also kind of hitting the right, I would say, tones for a little bit of a marketing angle, right? You do need to be persuasive in your writing when you're writing for marketing, because you want that reader to not only think that you're an expert in this field, but that you most likely have the right product and service for them once they identify that they have a challenge. So there was a little bit of like, should we or should we not, or how should we be using AI just to at least kind of ease that little bit of a burden of content creation, especially if you're a lean team.
Yeah, I guess I was just thinking, I mean, you said that these startups might have one marketing person. I can see it also just being one person in a marketing role who isn't necessarily a marketer. I was briefly in an IT role, despite not actually being an IT professional. And perhaps when it comes to these tools, they might be useful. One of the things that we're always saying about generative AI, AI and automation, is it can be very useful at dealing with those little bitty tasks. So, maybe it would be really good at writing tweets or a brief Facebook post, but you might have to put more thought into it when you're doing a blog post or something for LinkedIn. But if it's lifting the weight of doing those small but time-consuming tasks, you have a bit more time to put thought into doing the longer, more creative pieces.
Absolutely. And also, Gianna mentioned productivity. I mean, I've seen marketing teams truly automate their day-to-day tasks and their voyage across the tech stack just to make one social post happen, right? I think we have to like go from here to here. So how do we actually automate that? Even project management, that's always a really good one. I've seen Slack create some AI features where it helps you just catch up. You go on a week-long vacation and you come back to a slew of messages. It'll tell you what you need to know without having to go through each of them. There are definitely ways that I think it's made marketers' days a little bit easier.
Exactly. And there is that like what Maria was saying, it doesn't have to be content. It could be other tedious things that must be done, or small things that have to be done all the time that maybe could be automated. We're all learning and exploring. Another point I'll say is, Jane, you mentioned hey, an IT pro who might be in a marketing role now all of a sudden. Hey, IT pro, if you want to learn about marketing in cybersecurity, feel free to join us at cybersecuritymarketingsociety.com. I would actually say that you are set up so well for success in this industry, given that you have the actual technical background. Don't be afraid, listeners, to join the dark side and come over to the marketing side. We'd love to have you.
The fun side. I usually say a lot of cybersecurity practitioners, especially those who do content creation, they run their own podcast, they do a lot of public speaking. There are a lot of those in the community. I think those are deep down inside really, really want to be a marketer. And so we're here to help you.
We'll help you realize your dreams.
We've spoken a lot so far about using kind of AI, automation, new technologies in general to produce tweets, produce content that you put in front of people. But there's also the aspect, isn't there, of using new technology to look at your impact, look at your outreach, look at analytics. How much is that entering the fray? And is that something that you're also quite focused on, measuring success and using that to drive decision making?
Ooh, absolutely. I know, Gianna, I saw you pointing to me. I'll take it. Um, so I think that having a home for, I guess, performance reporting and analytics that is AI based, that could do all of the reporting for us with one click of a button, is a dream come true that I don't think has come true for a lot of marketing teams. And I say that not because there aren't tools out there that are probably doing that or on the way to, having a product like that, but for what we have existing in the tech stack, I would say I don't think it's quite there yet. And even if it is, like I said, it's probably so expensive that you couldn't add it on to the tech stack, and you resort to traditional ways of pulling your reports manually here and there. But I think CRMs and other tools that the marketing team and the sales team use are definitely seeing this influx of AI feature here, AI feature there. But I think it's a long ways from understanding the unique way in the way certain businesses report and set up their data and their data structure, their data hygiene or lack thereof. There are still many nuances that no AI tool can just come in and be like, poof, here, your whole data is clean in CRM and you have attribution perfectly done and all of your accounts have all the data points. It's just not the reality. So I mean, it's a great business idea for someone out there that has the secret sauce for this. Reach out to us. We're interested.
So, and this is our second attempt at stealing your audience. Hey, listeners, if you are really great at data, go ahead and build that tool. Marketers will pay you a lot of money.
Moving on a bit from AI and automation, obviously the two of you are podcasters. You have your own podcast, Breaking Through in Cybersecurity Marketing. How much do you find that cybersecurity professionals gel with the podcast format? Being a marketer doesn't necessarily mean that you have broadcast training. So what can you do to keep guests comfortable on air?
We actually love to talk to the security side of the house. So I know you were saying, "Oh, we're marketers," and marketers I think have a lesser rep in the industry. Marketers and salespeople, those on the business side. But we love to actually talk to security practitioners and hear from them. What do they think about marketing? What do they think about the business side of cybersecurity? And in this way, we're creating bonds and kind of reaching across the aisle and creating conversations with those that we are, quote unquote, marketing to. We want to hear what resonates with you all, with security practitioners, IT practitioners, because if we're doing stuff that is not resonating, that is annoying, then we're not doing a great job marketing, right? We want to improve these relationships and improve what we're doing so that everybody is making marketing that both marketers and companies can be proud of, but also that delights and makes our buying audiences happy. And no one will ever love an ad, right? But seeing an ad out there that doesn't make you angry, I think is a key point of what we're trying to kind of do here.
Yeah, and I think too, just humanizing the marketing team a little bit in a cybersecurity company. We hear, obviously, we were involved, like Gianna said, on the other side, and we hear practitioners' feedback on how could vendors do better in terms of a sales process or even marketing, or what they would actually like to see that side of the community do to contribute to our. We're all against that one enemy, right? The cyber criminal. And so how do we come together so it's a pleasant world for both sides? And yeah, so we're just humanizing the marketing team a little bit, and we're just trying to show them that we're just humans. We're trying our best. We're not technical. We're trying to learn something that's completely new, and just to create a little bit of empathy, and I guess maybe a forum for dialogue, right? I think maybe the practitioner doesn't feel like they have an outlet to provide their feedback, or maybe not all the time, and then the other side could just tell their side of the story. So there's a little bit more patience across the board.
Yeah, I think every marketer has been subject to vitriol and maybe even nasty, I've heard from many marketers, right? Like we have a marketing email, we sent it out. The people we're sending it to are opted in folks. It's not, we're talking about best practices marketing situations here, not like scammy, spammy situations where they get emails back, getting cursed out, or getting, Rory's eyebrows are going up. But yeah, no, seriously, cursed out or told that they're idiots and things like that. And while marketers are operating on behalf of a company, and when you reply to a company, right, it's like, okay, I'm mad at a company. There's usually a person there who reads it and it feels pretty awful. And both on the side of the marketer, helping them make better marketing, like I said before, but also bridging that gap, like Maria said, like creating relationships and dialogue. The marketers in this industry love security. They love security practitioners. They love CISOs. They love heads of IT. They love SOC analysts. Our jobs are to help. Like marketers in this industry get into this and stay in this because it's a mission-driven industry, just like they're all the reasons you're in it, right? This is a mission-driven industry. If we're doing a good job, we're also helping the defenders defend. So I think that's the point of view of most marketers in this industry. And we just want to make sure that we can help them execute on that point of view, as well as the security practitioner understand that and have a voice too. So everyone has a voice at the table.
That's something that we teed up in the introduction a little bit, that the cybersecurity department, on the one hand, they need that person advocating for them. They need to have that voice willing to sell that product or promote their specific strategy for cybersecurity. But like you've just said, it also goes the other way, doesn't it? Where there needs to be that level of respect afforded to the messenger, if you like, the person who is delivering that strategy or is proposing that a company invest in that tool. Maybe, do you think they should be considered in the same regard as the people on the ground implementing those solutions?
I would say yes and no, depends on the situation. But, we think about when we're thinking about marketing messaging or even a webinar or a topic, we're thinking about the day-to-day challenges for very specific job titles within a security team. And so we know on the C level, they're not really the hands-on keyboard person. So they're more worried about their security budget ROI. They're worried about talking to the board about more budget or making sure that, the company stays out of the news for, a PR disaster. While the SOC analysts or the people that are actually implementing the tools, integrating it across their security tech stack, they're worried about how easy is this tool? How easy can it integrate with the rest of my tech stack? Is it going to disrupt anything? Do I have to turn something off? What's the risk? And then all the other security points that they have to think about when they're implementing a new tool or introducing a new service to their security program. So I would say yes, sometimes, yeah, for that generic kind of messaging. But if we want to get super specific and resonate on certain topics, it's going to be different.
Absolutely. That message is going to resonate differently. Just like when I was an entry-level person or a mid-level person, I had different goals and aspirations at my role, which was still marketing, by the way. It was marketing the whole way through, but I had different concerns. So ideally, you're talking to the different types of person at a company. And I do want to say, though, that I think there's been a shift in recognizing that the users, quote unquote, of tools and services, not just the check signer or the C-suite level, are important too. And we've seen a lot of movement in the industry to help support, celebrate, and do good for the people actually hands-on, using tools, using services, and making stuff happen.
Well, unlike the Breaking Through in Cybersecurity Marketing podcast, unfortunately, there is no game at the end of the IT Pro podcast. I know. Less fun over this side of the table. However, if listeners would like to know what on earth I'm talking about and what Rory and I said in response to Gianna and Maria's questions, you can find our episode on Breaking Through in Cybersecurity Marketing.
Absolutely. And that is going to be at cybersecuritymarketingsociety.com, or you can listen to it wherever you hear podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. We're on every channel, and we are produced by the Cyberwire Network. So you can also go to that website and find us there.
Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. But Maria, Gianna, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having us on the show.
We had a blast. Thank you so much, Jane and Rory.
As always, you can find links to all of the topics we've spoken about today in the show notes and even more on our website at itpro.com.
You can also follow us on LinkedIn, as well as subscribe to our daily newsletter. Don't forget to subscribe to the IT Pro podcast wherever you find podcasts. And if you're enjoying the show, let us know by leaving a rating or a review.
We'll be back next week with more from the world of IT. But until then, goodbye.
Goodbye. This episode is supported by NatWest, providing ease of mind when it comes to business payments.
NatWest Pay It, the bank's own payment solution, facilitates customer payments in near real time while allowing companies to track live spending. Need to collect payments without customer account numbers or process refunds without holding on to personal details? Pay It has your business covered.
Pay It connects directly with each customer's bank account using an API, which also allows data to be seamlessly and securely passed onto third parties. That means you can provide the best payment experience on the front end while empowering your back-end staff with the info they need for truly data-driven decision-making.
To find out more, visit payitbynatwest.com/itpro. That's payitbynatwest.com/itpro.